Chapter 8: 7 Common Mistakes to Avoid. In this chapter, we will discuss some of the most common mistakes you should avoid if you want to stick to your goals and keep going even in spite of difficulties. Unrealistic expectations. Due to the phenomenon known as the false hope syndrome, some people set unrealistic expectations and keep repeating the same mistake over and over again. People who fall victim to the false hope syndrome, and it's more common than you think, make frequent attempts to change themselves. They give up when they realize they will never achieve their goal as quickly or as easily as they initially assumed. In order to avoid this behavior, always research the average results people get when setting a specific goal. For instance, if you want to go on a diet, learn how much you can expect to lose per week instead of assuming you can lose 10 pounds every single week. If you want to build a business, read articles written by seasoned entrepreneurs to find out how long it takes an inexperienced person to build a successful business. If you want to learn a new skill, research what you can expect to master in a month, 3 months, or any other time frame. Such simple research will prepare you for the real world, which often differs a lot from the unrealistic expectations of beginners who are yet to become aware of how hard something is. Focusing on the event instead of the process. Self help literature suggests that the best way to motivate yourself to work on your goal is to imagine it in great detail. Yet, there is more to it than just visualizing your success. An experiment conducted by UCLA researchers has shown that college freshmen who visualized good study habits experienced less anxiety and better outcomes than students who visualized getting a good grade. Another similar study suggests that people who spend time thinking about how to implement a plan to achieve a specific goal perform better and feel more optimistic about it than people who think about the potential reward. When you spend more time thinking and implementing your plans rather than fantasizing about the potential reward, you will be more likely to stick to your goals. It doesn't mean there is no place for good old visualization. Sometimes imagining future success can enhance your motivation and keep you going. It can also help you spot mistakes and improve your performance. A technique called visual motor behavior rehearsal is one of the most fundamental techniques in sport psychology. The first step is to close your eyes and relax. Then you visualize an aspect of your performance or your success from start to finish. Such regular practice is both motivational and offers useful feedback to improve your results. A study by Noelia A. Vasquez and Roger Boehler suggests that visualizing your success from the third person point of view is better than doing it from the first person perspective. According to the researchers, when you imagine yourself in the third person, it helps you highlight the larger meaning and significance of your goal, which leads to a more powerful motivational impact. Try both approaches to find out which one works better for you. Listening to people with limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs can come not only from within you but also from other people. Negative social influence can sometimes break your goals, even if you are otherwise a persistent person. Each time someone remarks you won't achieve a certain goal, ask yourself whether what she is saying comes from her limiting beliefs or from a valid point of view. It's quite easy to discern between opinions and facts when you ask people for evidence to back their claims. If they can't provide it, they are voicing their opinions, which you should usually disregard. Many successful people, such as Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, or Richard Branson, praise the importance of the empowering social circle. When you are surrounded by individuals who support your goals and work on their own goals, you are much more likely to transform your life. Hanging out with pessimistic and lazy people will lead to the total opposite. Making rash decisions. Making important decisions without taking at least several days to give yourself time to think about them is a surefire way to make the wrong decision. Oftentimes, people who give up when the going gets tough give up only because the short term pain influenced them to such an extent they decided to give up instinctively. It hurts so much, I have to stop. Pause and reflect before you make an important decision. Come up with a set of decision making rules. For instance, I never make an important decision when I am tired. I never make an important decision when I am influenced by a negative emotion like sadness, anger, or frustration. I never make an important decision on a whim. I always give myself 24 hours to change my mind. Most successful investors use systems that take their emotions out of the equation. Thanks to this simple rule, they don't make rash decisions that would ruin their finances. Discounting slow progress. Slow progress is still progress. Yet, some people consider it a viable reason to give up. Unless you absolutely have to achieve something in a given time frame and know it's impossible, giving up just because your progress is slow is a mistake. Tweak what you are doing and find ways to increase your progress rate instead of giving up. Even if you can't find a way to go faster, sticking to your goal is still a better choice than giving up. In the first case, you will eventually achieve your goal. In the second case, the only guarantee is that everything will stay the same. Some people give up because they don't see progress at all. It's easy to overlook small progress, especially when you are working on a big goal. To avoid making such a mistake, quantify your progress as much as possible. Track your abilities and performance. For instance, if you are learning a new language, you can periodically complete online tests to assess your skills. Letting the past define you. Past failures shouldn't affect what you are doing now. Yet, many of us are susceptible to brooding on the things that didn't go well. Such negative thinking can affect your thinking when you are struggling and make you believe you are bound to repeat your old mistakes. How do you deal with this problem and escape the vicious cycle? You shift your focus from the past to the present moment and consider each goal a fresh start. The past has power over you because you let it affect your thinking. When you let these thoughts go, and it takes self monitoring to make it happen, you will reduce the risk of entering the vicious cycle again. Winning and letting others complain around you. Complaining about the lack of results is a surefire way to lose motivation and give up. If you want to reduce the number of negative thoughts in your mind, consider trying an experiment created by best selling author Will Bowen. Go without complaining for 21 days in a row. The negative effect of complaining on your success doesn't stop with you, though. In this book, three simple steps are mapped to success in business and life. Best selling author Trevor Blake cites research conducted on the hippocampus by Robert Sapolsky at Stanford University's School of Medicine. The hippocampus is a part of the brain that is highly sensitive to negative stimuli. Spolsky found that exposure to stressors such as listening to someone winning or gossiping elevates cortisol levels. It hampers synaptic connections and speeds up cell death, thus making the hippocampus shrink. As a result, the hippocampus, as Blake writes, declines in cognitive function, including the ability to retain information and adapt to new situations. In other words, when you let others complain around you, you not only feel unnecessary stress but also become dumber with time. And as we already discussed, the ability to adapt to new situations is the most important skill for resilience. Sapolsky suggests four ways to deal with this problem. First, monitor your thoughts. Each time you complain, turn it into a positive thought. Second, avoid negative people. Each time you find yourself in a negative conversation, escape it. Third, ignore complainers if you can't avoid them. Fill your mind with positive thoughts while they complain around you. And fourth, the last one, tell people to come up with solutions. When someone complains to you, ask her what she intends to do about it. Oftentimes, it will stop the complainer from whining around you. Now, 7 common mistakes to avoid. A quick recap. First, do some research before you set a goal. Unrealistic expectations are one of the most common reasons why people give up. Second, focus on the process instead of the event. Get a boost of motivation by visualizing the reward, but also make sure to spend ample time visualizing the process. It will prepare you to deal better with challenges and make the goal appear more attainable. Third, avoid people with limiting beliefs. A self limiting opinion of your friend can decrease your motivation just as effectively as your own limiting beliefs. Fourth, people often give up on a whim when they can't endure the short term pain associated with working on their goal. Give yourself time before you make any important decisions and remind yourself that This too shall pass. Fifth, slow progress is not a good reason to give up. When something works, even if it works slowly, focus on tweaking it to make it work better. Sixth, let go of any thoughts of the past influencing the present moment. People give up too frequently simply because they let their past failures define their present and future. And seventh, monitor your negative thoughts and get rid of them. Try to go 21 days in a row without complaining. Remember that surrounding yourself with people with a negative attitude poisons your mind and makes you dumber. Three ways to deal with habitual whiners include avoiding them, ignoring them, and filling your mind with positive thoughts, and asking people what they intend to do to solve their problems.